Hi, Julia.
Hi.
We're live.
We're now live.
Okay, Education Commission regular meeting notice and agenda. Call to order, roll call.
Yes, thank you. Chair, Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Good.
Commissioner Nicole Moore.
Present.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas.
Present.
Vice Chair David Govea.
Present.
And Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Present. Pledge of Allegiance. Vice Chair David Govea, are you willing to do the thing?
Let's do it. So we have a
We
flag.
have a
Thank
flag.
you, Cynthia. Very cool. All right, guys, if you can just follow me, right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
I pledge
to the
allegiance
flag
to the flag
of the United States of America
States of
and
America,
to the
and
republic
to the republic
for which it
for which
stands,
it stands,
one nation,
one nation,
under God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
liberty
and justice for all.
all.
All right, approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I move
I'd
we
like to
approve
make a
it.
motion to approve the agenda.
I second it.
Okay, everybody's in agreement apparently, but let's go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas.
Yes.
Vice Chair David Govea.
Yes.
And Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes. Public statements, written or oral? Do you
There are
have
no
any?
public statements tonight.
Okay. We love the public, but we also like brevity. So, commission matters. Presentation by Los Angeles Unified School District Board Member Kelly Gomez, and I see that Charity is here. Hello.
Hi all, can you hear me?
Perfectly.
Great. Board Member Gomez is probably going to join as soon as she can, probably around 7 p.m. Is that okay?
That's absolutely fine. Did you want us to wait for her and we can come back to it?
That would be great. Thank you.
Do we need a vote to do that?
Make a motion that we approve, that we move item number 1 on the agenda to after item number 6. Then.
Second it.
All right.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas.
Yes.
Vice Chair David Govea.
Yes.
Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes. Okay, number 2, update from Eduardo Solorzano, Community of Schools Administrator, Local District Northeast.
So good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Glad to be back and see these familiar faces. I know it's been, what, 3 months from when 4 months when I last had a chance. But number 1, thank you for sending the communication around the free flu shot clinic at San Fernando Middle School. We had a ton of people that actually took advantage of it. So that is a great thing. The other thing that I just wanted to share with you is to communicate to your San Fernando community for the grab and go. Tomorrow, we will actually be giving every person 5 meals when they come to pick up the meals, because since we're going to be closed Thursday and Friday, they're able to pick up 5. So anything you can do to help message that, we've done it from the district, we've done it from the community schools, but anything you can help with that, we know that some of the families, this is what they're counting on, especially as the number of cases is going up. More people are actually being cut in hours and whatnot. So anything you can do to support us and supporting your community is greatly appreciated. And then you probably heard a lot about the return to campus, and you probably have a lot of questions. Suffice it to say that we're not saying we're returning to campus as a district or as a community schools. What we're communicating and messaging to the stakeholders is we're taking all the steps necessary so that if and when the health experts and the sciences is showing that we can return to campus, then we will be prepared to do so. And we're calling it a toggle, right? We need to go back and forth maybe between distance learning and the people that prefer the on-site. Now, we do recognize a number of our working families do need somewhere for the students to be supervised. So once we are able to open the campus and do the hybrid model, we are committed to providing on-site supervision through our Beyond the Bell program and the partners. Now, don't know what that's going to look like because it's all being finalized. Once we have that, we will message and we will communicate it, and I'll share it with Ms. Alba so she can share with the group, but also on your media sites and whatnot, and also with Ms. Fritz. So now that I have both of your emails, they're in my face. It's easy to find both of you now. So I'll be sharing that information. I do want to also encourage you to encourage all of our neighbors in San Fernando to take advantage of the free COVID test. I've done 6 and I'm about to do my 7th one tomorrow. And it's really painless, and it takes 10 minutes for you to park, come in, and get out. Because with the appointment system, it's really expedited. And a couple of when we had the first flu clinic back in October, a couple of the families that did the COVID test, actually, they were apprehensive when they first heard about the district's COVID test. Once they did it, they're like, oh, it's not what we expected at all. And I think it's part of it, what the media has said, that, oh, you have to go deep into your nose and scratch your brain type of thing. But once they did it, they're like, oh, it's really painless. And they were actually relieved to know that they were negative when they got the results. So just if you can help message that, it's for the students and any family member in that household. So the more we can get students used to the testing, the better prepared we're going to be for when the time comes for us to return or to make that opportunity available to the families. The other one that's a big ask is families need to make a selection of what their preference is, whether it's to continue on the fully online virtual model or to take advantage of the hybrid model again, once it's safe to do so. That application is due, or that selection is due on December 6th. We messaged from the local district Northeast on Friday. We messaged all of our families. However, anything you can do, again, to spread the word, remind the families, we're having it on the website. Actually, if possible, what I'm going to do is, Ms. Alba and Ms. Fritz, I'm going to share with you our newsletter, which it was being posted today. It will have the link for the family guide, as well as the link to the actual form, the selection form that the families need to complete, so that we can give families that opportunity. Because any family who does not make a selection will automatically be defaulted to hybrid model. Now, the reason we're doing that is it's easier for us to go from hybrid to online. So even though, let's say a family for some reason forgets or is out of town or doesn't submit the selection form, then we will default them to the hybrid model. If and when we are able to return to campus, students can go from hybrid to online at any moment. But to go the other way from online to hybrid, it would only be at specific times during the calendar year, because obviously we need to do that in order to ensure that we can bring them on safely into a cohort, and that that we have the space for them. So that takes a lot more planning than putting them on the virtual online model. Cohorts will be limited to about 12 students and 2 adults, and we will maintain consistent cohorts because we don't want any students interacting and exchanging cohorts, because then we don't control the environment. And the key to all of this is the 3 S's, right? The sanitizing, which every classroom, every bus, everything will be sanitized thoroughly. The social distancing, and then the screening. So whenever anybody comes onto the campus, they will be screened with the screening questions, as well as we'll be doing temperature checks. So that's the big update. I know there's a lot, but any questions you have that I may be able to answer, or that I could at least take back and say, we will get these answers for you. I'm open to that at this point. Ms. Moore?
Nicole.
I know you said that you intend to do cohorts of 12. I had heard that when Superintendent Bittner spoke that he had mentioned starting with the youngest kids and then within a few weeks going to older kids. How with secondary schools, middle and high school, do you think that LAUSD will manage the 12 student cohorts? Will they like only attend one class at a time, or because they don't like switch classes?
And that's a great question. Actually, my principals asked me that question on Tuesday last week, because I was sharing with them what we would be communicating to the families during the town hall meetings. We are still finalizing all of the details. And until we've negotiated the agreements, when I say we, the district has negotiated the agreements with the labor partners, all of those things cannot be finalized. The other piece is that's why we need the families to make their selection, because once we know the percentage of students who are going to be coming, who would prefer the hybrid model, then we can also look at the human resources available and what are the supports that we would need to set that up. So those are the details that we will be sharing once we're able to finalize those. Okay.
I have a question, Roberto. So I know there's actually a recent article which talked about how many students are still struggling with the virtual online distance learning model. I know as a classroom teacher, I'm seeing it. I have a higher proportion of fails than I've ever had in my career. Have there been any discussions at the district level in regards to modification of the grading policy, or I know we did the pass no pass last semester. Has there been those kind of discussions again?
So that conversation hasn't taken place, at least not at my level. I don't know if it's you know, at the higher echelons, if that's being explored at this point. What we're looking at is how do we build in the mastery learning and grading concept so that we're not relying solely on the completion of homeworks, completion of asynchronous work, because I think, at least for some of my schools, one of the challenges is teachers are saying, oh, we have students have more time that they can do independent work through the asynchronous model, so they're assigning more tasks, and students are struggling to complete tasks. Then that creates basically a gap, if you will, and it sets the students back. So what we're looking at is the mastery concept of the skills and the concepts being taught, and then grading on that. And that's something that actually, as a district, we've been pushing even prior to COVID closures. So that's one of the pieces. The second piece is the empathy, right? And giving students multiple opportunities to submit and complete. And obviously, at the end of the day, the policy is still the same that of what it was prior to the COVID closures. However, we're trying to build that empathy amongst not just the teachers, but teachers, administrators, just everybody. How do we support and how do we provide for the social emotional needs of the students? Recognizing that some of the students may be, I may be a 10th grader taking biology, but I also have to maybe support my sibling who may be in 2nd and 3rd grade. And so that's also pulling me away from that. And so those are the pieces that we're trying to just share and communicate during our PD with teachers. The other piece, and I know early on I shared that we had a one-on-one tutoring available. We've actually expanded that to small group tutoring that is on site, but we're expanding to virtual online intervention programs. So those actually have kicked off, and they kicked off a couple of weeks ago. And we're asking every single school to identify who their students are that need the additional support, and then engage them in this either the online intervention program or the one-on-one tutoring programs.
Thank you.
I have
Another
a
question?
question. Oh, I'm
Go ahead,
sorry.
Suzanne. Go ahead, Suzanne.
Okay. And this is probably maybe for Cynthia or for Julia. When we have an update like this, like in regards to the grab and go, how do we get the information out to our community? Is there a flyer, or how do we put it on the website to get that information out?
We have been sending things via social media to Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We also use the calendar on the SF City website. That way it just shows up on the main calendar.
All right, so then the information about this update will be on our website and all the social media? The update regarding the 5 meals.
Yes, so when we receive flyers, we can post them on the website as well.
Great, okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I know I've seen them on my social media feeds today because it's already tomorrow that this particular one is, but I've seen it from board member Gomez. I've seen it, I haven't been on social media a lot today, but I saw the grab and go and I saw the 5 meals. So it's on social media already. It's just, you know, and we definitely shared the flu vaccine. So when we have the information sooner, we have it, but I have a feeling that because this is, if it's been spread through the schools and it's been shared through the community that way, there will be people that will know. And I assume also the people that have been in line earlier in the week know about it too. So if they've been going regularly, they probably already know more than we do if we haven't been there, but I did see it earlier today.
Okay, thanks for sharing.
Olivia, did you have one too?
Yeah, I also heard it on the radio. I don't know what station
Okay.
I was listening to because I go from one to another, but it was on actually Buettner was speaking and he, so it was on the radio on, I don't know, NPR or something. But I was going to ask Eduardo a question about the frequency of testing. So, you know, I've been tested also, and I went to the school here, but how often do you need to get tested, or why is it that you've taken this test 7 times?
So for me, because since I go into a lot of different schools, and I've actually have been in contact with whenever there's somebody that tests positive, they let us know. They don't tell us who it is. They just say, you've been in contact. So once that happened, I make sure to test every 3 days, even though I was asymptomatic, just to be on the safe side.
Right.
For all of us that are reporting to sites, like I'm asking all of my team to test weekly.
Oh.
Anybody reporting either to a school site or to our office to test weekly.
Well, that's good to know. The other thing about returning to school, I heard also or read in the newspaper something about preference to special ed children and then possibly second language learners as far as availability and the people that would be served first. Is that part of our plan also?
So our plan actually started with meeting the needs of our higher needs students, both English learners, SPED students. And so when we started the tutoring program, those were the students we were identifying first and saying, let's target any student who, number one, needs to reclassify as an English learner so that they, before leaving elementary, so that they have better success or better chance of success in middle school. And same thing from middle school to high school, right? Because we know when we don't reclassify students prior to getting to high school, they are less likely to reclassify once they are in high school. So that was one. And the other one was our special students who are able to come in, because the other thing is any student who comes for tutoring has to adhere to the safety protocols, including wearing the mask. And so for some of our students, that's where the challenge is. However, once we are able to open, we will be, and that's the message that we've gotten from Buettner as well as our local district superintendent, Mr. Jade. The message is that we expect to prioritize all of our higher needs students, and then hence starting with the younger grades, because they're the ones that some of us that have the older students, we can get them on and online and they can have some success, but it's having visited virtually a number of elementary schools, I can see where the challenge is for the students to do independent asynchronous work, while the teacher's saying, okay, everybody go do your work and I'll still be here if you need help. But yeah, we need to start with the kids that have the shorter attention spans, that need the quick redirect, and then scale up. Okay.
Is that all, Olivia?
No, I have one.
Okay, go ahead. No, I have a question, but actually keep going.
Teachers, do teachers get to choose, whether they will be teaching virtually or hybrid, or how is that going to be determined as far as teachers?
We will know, because I'm sure that's one of the things that, having been part of the negotiating team when I was downtown, I'm sure that's one of the things that they're going back and forth on that, on what is the teacher preference, I'm sure, or what are the exemptions, because we can't just have everybody opt out also if we need to bring students in order to provide the services, to bring staff in order to provide the services to the students who really need it, and whose parents say, you know what, this is the only way that I can ensure the success for my child is the hybrid model. And so once we know all of that, we will share all of that. We were hoping, we had our town hall meeting last Thursday night. We were hoping to have all of those details, but lo and behold, we're not quite there yet. I know they had marathon sessions with the negotiations. And so once that's final, I'm sure it's going to be all over the media, but we will also have a town hall meeting to share with our stakeholder groups.
Thank you.
Now you're good? Okay. I just want to make sure. I know today the LA City testing site opened at Rec Park in San Fernando, and we saw the line and didn't realize it did a Disneyland line behind the building and came through because it's a walk up, which is fantastic for the carless families. I also drive by the back of San Fernando Middle School probably 4 or 5 times a week, and there doesn't seem to be that much of a line there. Is the LAUSD site, ironically, I'm no longer eligible because somehow I finally have pushed the last one out of LAUSD. Somebody suggested I borrow someone's child, and I'm not going to do that. But the rules are that they have to be, it's a student and any family members that live in that household. But it doesn't look like the lines are gonna, I've never seen a line. There might be a few people there, but it doesn't look like it takes very long.
It doesn't, and it's because they make you have an appointment. So if you
Okay.
don't have an appointment, you can't just walk up. You have to have an appointment. There's
Okay,
a way
that's
to get
good to
an
know.
appointment. It's very efficient, and we were in and out, and we got our results like, it seemed like the very next day, like 12 hours later. It was, through email. So it was very efficient, but it's because you have to go in with an appointment.
And I'm asking, and you don't have to answer, is that because of your grandchild?
Yes.
Okay, it's not retirees and alumni and.
Oh, I don't even know. I just went because I was part of the children.
The household, okay.
Right, it's a household.
Yeah, no, like I said, this is the first time in 25 years I don't have a kid, or the second year, but it's like, oh, LA, oh, no, I'm not an LAUSD parent. Okay. If we have no other questions, everybody good? Okay, thank you. Eduardo, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Thanksgiving. I know it's not what we would all like to have, but I just hope that you all have a great Thanksgiving in a couple of days. So
thank you, and you too.
Actually, I'm going to get off of this one and log on onto YouTube to watch the rest of it. That's how I follow you every month. And sometimes when I have questions, I'll just text Olivia.
We very much appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Happy holiday. All right. Let's see, where are we? Discussion regarding the 2020-2021 scholarship process, applications, and awards ceremony. David, did you want to go first? Did you want me to go first? How do you want to do this?
We can start off. Yeah, so we're in it, guys. Just so you know, this is our final meeting before the scholarships go live. So the ad hoc committee met earlier the week, and what we did was we basically sat and hammered out all the forms, making sure things are ready to go. What we're going to do for this meeting is we're going to go through the forms independently, just kind of skim through them, make sure the questions are legit, make sure it adheres to what we discussed on the previous meeting. And then as we go one by one, they should be ready for publication. Cynthia is making a flyer, a one-page flyer, which has links to all of the scholarships as well as a description of each of them. So all of these will be posted on social media as well as distributed through the various channels that we distribute through. Cynthia, I have shared with you the scholarships. I don't know if you got the notification for the links, but before we go into those forms, were there any questions, thoughts, ideas prior to getting into like the nitty-gritty of the scholarships?
We had talked about some last month, but you said you already looped those in, right?
The changes, yeah, the changes should be there, and if they're not, please let us know. But yeah,
I couldn't get into the links that we have on that form, David, because it said that the scholarships were closed. So after we're done, I'll go through and read them one more time just to make sure there's no typos in there.
Got it.
Unless we catch them, if we catch them as we're going, but I fully anticipate on reading them one more time, but I sent a message, but I don't think it got through to you.
Okay,
but I can't get in because they're closed because they're still looking at them like the 1920 scholarships.
Okay, yeah, there are new forms, so I'm not sure why they would say that, but maybe there was an error with it.
And maybe it's because what I'm looking at reflects back to the old ones, but either way, I wanted to read them one more time just to make sure, but as we go through them, I think we'll catch anything as we're going because we're doing them as we went along.
Okay. Okay, great. Any other questions, guys, before Cynthia? Or Cynthia, do you want to open the forms or do you want me to do it for my screen?
Could you please? I also have the public's access, so I don't necessarily have editing access yet. I think you had just sent it and I didn't have time to go through it all.
Okay, great. Yeah, so go ahead if you want to do screen share capability. Actually, I can do it. Any other questions, Olivia? I think you had your, no? Okay. Susan, no? All right, so let's get started. So we have how many scholarships? 8 scholarships. Eli, Gabriel, Why Not You, Future Entrepreneur, Si Se Puede, Unheard Voices, STEM, and Republic. So that is 8 scholarships that started as a program with 2. So sorry, doing some new stuff there. Embarrassing. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and see here. Start one by one, go through all of them, and then you guys can just make sure. So what I did is I took the scholarships from the previous years, the forms from the previous years. I just made copies and changed the dates. We want to make sure all the dates are correct as well. So we'll start with our first scholarship, which was Gabriel. We'll start here. Should I read them or do we feel good? 'Cause I mean, we're not really making any changes to this. I think we should just look at the numbers.
And the prompts, right? We did make some changes to prompts, but not to this one, right?
Right. So you see the numbers, the ICFA. There is some updates in regards to Gabriel and Eli. I did talk to Councilmember Ballin, and she did mention that there's $250 for each Gabriel and Eli coming from the ICFA funds. So it's cool, another scholarship on that. So I'm really appreciative over that. But the requirements are the same. The description is the same. The date, did we have a date for final submission? I want to make sure that you
That would be it. I think that's the Friday, right?
Let's double check. So that let me see, February, no, it would be the 19th is the Friday. So are we doing the 19th?
Yeah, make it the Friday, and then when everybody shows up at City Hall on the Monday, then when they open it, whatever's in there and any questions that came in over the weekend, we will loop them all in.
Yeah, perfect.
It's not a hard midnight on Friday if people can't get a hold of anybody at midnight at Friday.
Okay. This is all the same. Checking the box. Just I give permission. The prompt. What social justice concern that you share? Describe the urgency of what have you done or can be done to address it. We each have a tradition, religious or just something. Let me see. Sorry. Describe the importance of the tradition to give an example of your most prized personal tradition and why. Discuss an accomplishment or event, formal or informal, that marked your transition from a mature, responsible adult within your culture, community, family, or even to yourself. Youth today are more willing to discuss mental health issue. This was actually an addition to last year's. That were previously stigmatized, explain a time that or a way that you have prioritized your mental health, which is, I think, very relevant to today. I believe we kept all these questions from our discussion. Were there any changes or modifications that we needed to the setup?
Those 4 for this one are a go.
Okay, going once, going twice. All right, so the Gabriel form is done. Now we're going to move to the Eli form. Okay, and just random cool fact, I did run into Eli's sister and Paula's daughter at a donut shop, and she just was super grateful of the work that we're continuing to do. She did want to reach out and talk to us just about how she can continue to get involved, but just know that people are listening and paying attention to this, and I'm so glad that we're still continuing to honor the family. So this is Eli.
This is the one that we removed the question that we were afraid we were going to get the answers that were particular to online learning.
Yeah,
and then
I think, let's see, do we have a placeholder for it? I don't know if we had the real language. Academic silver lining question. Yeah, so we needed your help, Commissioner Moore. We couldn't find the actual verbiage for the question. Do you remember how we worded it?
We used the initial wording that I put up there, and then the last few words are in my notes from last month.
Like, I know we have it somewhere. It was something about what has been a silver lining, although I don't know if all students know that phrase. I am finding more and more that there are figurative language pieces that students don't know. Do you have it in your notes?
Don't know. That's what we were looking for last time. I must have not did it digitally.
Basically, the idea that I think we were going for is, what is something good? What is something positive? What is a positive way that your life has changed as a result of the coronavirus pandemic?
Okay.
That might avoid the phrase silver lining. I'm just realizing that now because I asked students this week. I found a poem that said something along the lines of, we go together like a hook and an eye, a fish eye, or a fish, she's a fish hook in an open eye. And I thought, oh, that's such an easy metaphor. That's painful. It's awful. And then students were like, oh, it means they have a wonderful relationship. And I was like, how did they miss that? And then I asked them if they knew what a hook and an eye was, and they didn't. And like, none of them had seen it, and none of them knew what a fish hook looked like either. So I realize now that silver lining might be kind of an outdated phrase. So maybe just a positive change is enough.
Yeah, I sent it by email for the last meeting. I can see if I can find it.
If you can, yeah, just type it, because I don't want to go through all my email and stuff since we're broadcasting live. If you can find it, if you want to put in the chat section.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
there's an R missing. What is a positive way your life has changed? Yeah.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just have this here. We'll come back before we close it out just to see if we can find a cleaner language. But everything else, I believe, was the same. So we're gonna check this, and as we're having our meeting, Angel, if you find it, we can circle back to it. Okay, great. So our third scholarship, again, it's kind of cool going over our scholarship history. Our third scholarship is the Why Not You, which is a scholarship designed for non-traditional students who may have not found success, your normal academic path. We modified the name to honor Paula Mascoro, Eli's mother, who passed away because she was just an amazing force behind our program. Not only
hold on, I found it.
Okay.
We just have to get rid of the safer at home, and then that was there was a better wording for that, but that's the topic. The pandemic and the subsequent closures have created a sense of loss for many families this year. However, some people have experienced silver linings with the extra time or togetherness, which I think gives context to what a silver lining is. They found themselves sharing in 500 to 1,000 words, share an unexpected new hobby, memory, or other positive effects of being, and we are losing safer at home, and we're coming up with the magical thing
of spending more time at home.
Beautiful. See, we collaborated.
I like this question a lot. I think it's robust enough.
I think I need it. I feel like if I need it, and I think everybody can just take a step back and find something.
Yeah, how nice it'll be to read some of these stories, huh? Okay, it's a pretty. I don't know. Do we need the link? Because we have the link in the main prompt. Okay, so read it again. The pandemic and the subsequent closures. Oh.
It's in the chat if you want to copy paste it.
Yeah.
And have to change it.
I did. That's
okay,
right.
And then we just have to change start at being to of spending more time at home.
There you go. It's even right below it on the chat.
Yeah, I think that's great. Do we want to, because it's kind of redundant to continue on with it in the 500 words. Because that's up here as well. Should I?
We can take that out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just share. Yeah, the sentence will start at share. Perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, so Eli's done.
And they both have 4 questions. Oh, that one's got 3. So that one's got 3. So 3 and 4 questions are good for each of those.
Okay, and I believe our Why Not You only has 2 questions, but I like them a lot. And some more positive news on this. Councilmember Bellin also is allocating $500, or confirm on $250 to $500 for this scholarship as well. So she's out of her community funds.
All right, so that one's got to go to February 19th.
Okay. Let's see this. To open a high school senior that has below a 3.0 GPA, C average or below. So this was the one stickler about this. Cynthia, did we have any issues with this last time? Didn't we have some students who were like freshmen at Duke College or something like that?
We had a couple that were, and does it say farther down that verification may be requested from the student or the school? So,
Yeah.
And we requested verification that one time and the student did not make it.
Okay, cool. All right, yeah, and that wasn't too complicated, right? That process? Okay, so we'll hold on to it. Yeah, I just like having it there as a deterrent.
We had to do that with a winner just to make sure they were a City of San Fernando resident, just because something about where they attended school didn't quite sound like they could put, and you know, we know for a fact that kids attend schools all over from San Fernando, but there was one we just wanted to make sure they were truly San Fernando resident. We just asked for a copy of their report card based on from attending their school. And the beautiful thing about LAUSD report cards is they have your address and they have your name and the school. So if you ask for verification, it's not, I know that plenty of scholarships ask for some kind of verification. So that's not the hardest thing. So
Okay.
Go ahead and scroll down.
Okay, so the questions are, please describe obstacles you have gone through which have interfered with your academic success and how overcoming this experience will help you as you pursue a college degree. So kind of right on the nose as it relates to the purpose of this scholarship. Or they can choose describe a relationship that you have with the mentor and how this relationship has shaped your path forward.
Both very good, very solid.
Okay. All right, great. So we'll do that. I think we're good on the Why Not You. Okay, and so the next 2 scholarships, the Future Entrepreneur and the CSIP Weather scholarships, were funded by council members as well. Did we find out if there were more funds for this, Angel, for this year?
Vice Mayor Pacheco is going to sponsor these for this year at the same level.
Perfect, okay.
So they are one $500 scholarship for each. He has pledged the funds. We assume that the funds are coming because he's pledged them. So they're on the.
And he confirmed like no changes or modifications, correct?
Well, I asked and told him before the ad hoc meeting and that our meeting was Tuesday and that it would go live. So at this point, it's going live. So it's the same wording as last year. We didn't do anything to it. So.
Vice Mayor there to acknowledge that. Great. Okay. Yeah, this is a cool one. If you were to open a business, what would that business be? How would your business be different from your competitors? I really liked reading those last time. Excited to read some more. Anything about this that we need to make modifications on, Commissioner?
I think that one is fine.
Cool. Future entrepreneurs is good.
And that has it's one question, but it's because it's specific to that. And that one doesn't have a specific requirement. That one's
Reading those too, they were really good. All of them for that one were good.
I like these targeted ones. I remember I had some initial reluctance with the number of scholarships that we were given, just in the sense that it was going to continue to build, but we weren't, I think we weren't over inundated with scholarships on this because they're so targeted. You have to fit very narrow criteria to hit it. So I was actually happy to read some of these. And I know the new scholarships we have kind of fall within the same vein as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of really excited about a couple of at least one of the new ones. So I'm always excited about all new scholarships, but the This is the Si Se Puede. This is the STEM. This is a first generation, so that's very specific and very targeted. Entering STEM majors, and then this is one question also, right?
Yeah. Why do you plan to enter a STEM field, and what opportunities excite you the most?
Yeah, this was a good one too last year.
We did get some really good ones, yeah. Cool, excited to read it again. I think we're good on this. All right, so then the next two are actually new scholarships. Do you want to introduce them again?
I'll introduce them. I received a phone call in the middle of the month from the mayor, and he very much wants to use some of his community funds. We still do not have the final election results, but he wanted to make sure that the scholarship program was part of his legacy, I guess. The next two, when he first kind of he kind of gave me some ideas, and they're kind of they start kind of out there, and you try to bring them in and try to. I wordsmith. If you want to start with the, you want to start with the science one or the other one?
We'll start STEM.
Okay, the STEM one, we weren't aware of whether Vice Mayor was going to continue his. So this one is a little different. This is almost an environmental studies question rather than STEM. So it kind of need a name, and we don't like STEM. So when we read the question, we will come back and we will pool and we will divine an answer. The other one, I am very much in love with the name, and we can go from there. I'm perfectly willing to have it changed, but I'm just going to admit I'm in love with the name for the other one.
Basically saying don't mess with it, y'all.
Don't mess with it. I was having a moment with I had a moment with my daughter on the other one, and it was kind of beautiful. Okay, so this prompt, and this has been wordsmithed, and it has been worked through with Joel, but what environmental issue concerns you the most, and how will you apply your studies to I feel like.
Let me hold on. So yeah, so let's finish that, because also this needs some modification as well. But let's go back to the question. So what environmental issue concerns you the most, and how will you apply your studies
to impacting a solution? Choose, please, and I added, please choose a narrow enough topic that you can adequately, and we don't have to use delve, but adequately delve into your response. What I don't want is global warming. The idea behind this is that it is open to any STEM field, but connected to environmental studies. And I wasn't sure that could be.
Can I elaborate? Just because as a teacher, I know we use that word a lot when it comes to.
Okay, that's
argumentative writing and things like that.
We're looking at this under the idea that any kind of engineering student and industrial systems student could look at this. A transportation civil engineer could look at this. Clearly, environmental studies, it could be clean water, clean air, it could be a medical. The idea is this is environmental studies. So I think the prompt, oh, that's okay. That's the part that has to, okay. I see what that has to, yeah, there we go. We just need a name for it. And I don't, I'm so glad you type the way I do, back and forth, back and forth.
Well, I think it was doing that thing where you press tab and it does insert.
Oh, so yeah. Okay. Surprise. And then you have to figure out and remember how to undo it.
Yeah.
It's not just STEM. It is limited to how you're going to environmental studies, but it doesn't even have to necessarily be
see it all together.
See here, I'll copy it and put it in the chat.
Yeah. I feel like trying to read the teleprompter and it keeps having a hiccup, and it's like,
So it seems like it's more of an environmental question than it is necessarily a STEM. Is that a requisite? Like that they need to be a STEM major?
That was the goal, but it doesn't have to be. But that's the question he would like. It's under that kind of environmental
But can we make it more just environmental? Because we have a STEM one already, first gen STEM. I mean,
Right, and that's why I really like this question. That's why I want to get STEM out of the name on this one, because the other one, while ironically STEM is not in the name, STEM is absolutely in the prompt. So this has environmental study or environmental issue. And ideally, it could be a policy student. It could be somebody that's a policy as opposed to a hard STEM, but environmental is how they're framing the lens. So I just want to get STEM out of the name and make it sound a whole lot better than STEM scholarship. But
and because there are so many areas of environmental careers and professions, you know, what about a title like looking to a sustainable future?
Oh, wow. See, this is why I don't have to do everything, because everybody's so smart.
No, because I'm thinking I have a niece that works with, she's an engineer, and she tests water in the water wells in the
Even sustainable future.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then it could be, you know, an engineer who does structures, you know, I mean, there's just so much in environment.
I floated it by the engineer in my house, and that's what I kind of said. I said, we want to do it as environmental studies, but can every STEM kid come up with, can every STEM kid come up with an answer? And I think that literally almost any, you know, the way that the prompt is worded, because it's how you apply your studies. So perhaps you're a theater major and you're going to perform, but we're going to have the context of reading the essays to see how somebody addresses the question. So
yeah, I think focusing the sustainability, I think allows it's multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary. I have a student who's doing landscape architecture. But I just wrote a letter rec for him recently, and part of his whole thesis is about sustainability. So although he's doing architecture,
Nicole,
he's still.
I fully endorse how will your chosen major impact your ability to contribute. I like that. Because again, if it's theater, you're going to have to sell us. It's not that, you know, and I have a PA kid, but if you're the theater kid, how is that going to contribute? So that's the question. I do like that.
So let's
from the and, if you start at the and, because that way, if we have, you know, what environmental issue concerns you the most, and how will your chosen major impact your ability? Because I thought about what Olivia said about sustainability. If we're going to do that, it should be in the prompt.
So instead of how will you apply your studies to impacting, revise it to what we wrote. That works.
Yeah.
Okay.
But leave the please choose. I was just impact that little frame. Would it be possible?
Go ahead.
I have an idea here thinking about, I had a student who got accepted to UCSD writing a personal insight question about an idea that she had that tracks at major universities should all be, and at shopping malls should all be kinetic, where people running and moving on them power the building. And I thought that was such a neat idea. And she got accepted with it too. And so I'm kind of wondering if there are kids that have those really cool ideas. So I'm wondering if maybe we could add a second prompt. I mean, I know you'd have to run it by Joel, but if we could add a second prompt that is something like, what's an idea for, like pretty much the same as the first one, but switching out the first part about what environmental issue concerns you the most to what's an idea for a specific invention, and what is the word I'm looking for? A specific innovation,
Yeah, I like innovation better.
A specific innovation that would increase sustainability, environmental.
That'd be so interesting. Do we I mean, because this is something I think we all need to get everything confirmed by today, because these are going to go out ASAP.
Putting it down.
Can we confirm it right now, or just make the decision? Angel, what are your thoughts?
I don't want to speak. I wordsmithed the first one to the point where I was comfortable with it and he okayed it. I'm not super comfortable. I like the idea of a second one. I don't know if anybody can assure that if they texted him right now, he'd respond. I don't know what his schedule's like.
I will be able to finalize this throughout the week as well, remotely.
Okay, then let's put it on there tentatively, because it's not going to go live. None of these go live till December 1. And if we can wordsmith it, and I can literally lift it and drop it into an email and say, are you okay adding this one? We would like to add a second one, because generally we do like to have a second prompt, just, you know, not all of them, but enough of them. And I do like where you're going with this.
Rather than just writing, because I figure the first essay is you have kids who are like really, really bothered by landfills. And so they have an idea to be a lawyer, to write laws that XYZ to prevent landfills, whatever, you know, that's prompt 1. But then you might have another kid who's like an engineer that's like, all of it, all of the issues concern me, but here's an idea that would fix so much of it, you know, that might be able to write a more like better, like, oh, here's such a good idea, which is why I'm going to go study architecture or something, you know? I'm going to put it in the chat, my idea.
Okay, put it in there, and then we will put it down as B tentatively, and then we will, I will reach out and ask if we can add that.
So this is a decision that ad hoc. Olivia, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I really like the word innovation, so that it would really be something that maybe we haven't seen.
Yeah, because more than an idea, it has to be more than an idea. We don't ask them to actually create it, but okay.
So we're just waiting on Commissioner Moore.
There you go.
Gonna have this as a placeholder. If we can reach out to the mayor right now, maybe get some finalized before. If not, we have a few days before these go out. So, and then the ad hoc will meet just to confirm.
Okay. Because we can definitely whatever the answer might be then.
So it's an idea that you have for specific innovation that would increase environmental sustainability, and how will your studies in college help you to realize sustainable solutions such as these? Perfect. Okay, so this one's not fully cemented, but we'll come back to it.
About 95%.
Yeah.
You could walk on it gently, you just couldn't trump on it.
Yeah, you might leave it in print. Okay, so our next one, you're really excited about this one.
This is the one that almost made me cry. We had a moment here at my house. Because I don't proclaim to be the most woke, not even close to the most woke, but I tapped into younger wokeness. So
where is it? Unheard Voices.
I'm sure there's nothing that our children like more than having to say, what do you mean when you're like, what would you call this? We're trying to do something like this. What does this mean? So
Commissioners, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Yes, I have Mayor Fajardo on the phone.
Hi.
Hi.
And I thought he did have some time, so if you would like to go over that second prompt with him.
I have like a minute. I'm pretty sure I'll be fine with it, but if they want to read it really quickly, I can probably just say that it sounds amazing.
I can read to you if you show me.
Yeah.
So it's right here.
Do you want to? Okay.
Yeah. So Mayor, we're considering to add is the prompt. What is an idea that you have for a specific innovation that would increase environmental sustainability, and how will your studies in college help you to realize sustainable solutions as these? Commissioner Moore had the idea. Commissioner Moore, do you want to explain the rationale behind it?
It's just great when they have choices. And I thought a kid might be really bothered by landfills and have, want to major in policy to help decrease landfills. Or they might be like, gosh, I have, all of the problems bother me. I can't pick one, but I have this great idea for a shopping mall powered by kinetic energy, or I don't know, whatever their ideas are. you know, kind of go a different route, so it's a little more positive, but just to give them so that they have choices, because we like to have choices in our prompts.
Got it. I mean, that sounds good to me.
Yay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
That's the easiest this has been so long.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Mayor.
that sounds great.
Thank you, Mayor.
No problem.
So we're
Thank
gonna
you,
go.
Mayor.
We're gonna move on
Okay,
to
bye-bye.
the Unheard Voices.
Thank you, Julia, for pulling.
I love it.
I never know if it's bath time or it's dinner time for little people, and it's always nice.
I just figure if someone's busy, they won't pick up.
Good point. Okay.
All right. So this next one is Unheard Voices. Do you want to read it for us?
Do you want me to read it? It's so tiny. All right.
Okay, I got it.
I can do it. A social justice scholarship, $250 a year for 4 years, with an emphasis on LGBTQ issues, but also human relations, suffrage, workplace rights, or any other category that falls under this umbrella. This scholarship is generously sponsored by Joel Fajardo. And if we scroll down, we have to change the date, but then if we scroll down.
All right, guys. And I mean, real quick, Cynthia, am I the host now? Or am I co-host?
You are
So actually-
co-hosting.
Okay,
co-hosting.
I admitted Council Board Member Gomez
Okay, wonderful.
to the meeting, so it's awesome. Thank you, Board Member, for showing up. Let's finish discussing this, and then we'll move forward to that
We'll
item.
jump right in. Okay. So this is Unheard Voices, and the idea was social justice issues, LGBT, but also anything else that might fall into that category of people that are typically not represented, underrepresented, and we kept dancing around, and finally the name came to Unheard Voices. So if we scroll down to the magical prompt.
Commissioner Moore also wrote in marginalized, which is.
Thought maybe that would go in that first sentence.
And it could absolutely. This I said
We'll put it in the
this was me and my daughter trying to come up with the magical wording for this. But an underserved community refers to populations which are disadvantaged because of disparities for reasons of race, religion, language group, or social status. These can include but are not limited to people who identify as LGBTQ+, DACA, immigrants, or BIPOC. And I looked at her and said, are we sure everyone knows BIPOC? And she says they should.
Know what BIPOC is.
The kids all know. So if an adult needs to look it up, they can. But again, if it's for a scholarship, if you're not sure of something, please look it up. Name a time when hearing these unique voices changed your perspective on an important issue. And this just, I'm really excited to read these. When these happen, I'm hopeful that these really become, we have at least 4 years of possibly really incredible, it doesn't have to be, it can be that they were the unheard voice and that they shared something. Hopefully it's where they heard something, but these are, Mayor Fajardo is donating $2,000 to the scholarship fund for the 2 scholarships, $250 a year for 4 years. So when we talked, I know last year we had concerns about having scholarships that might be a one and done. This is 4 years. So this is only the one, but there are so many options in that prompt. I think that prompt.
A clarifying question.
Sure.
The $250 a year for 4 years is for that student, not that we're going to give it to 4 different students, $250.
4 different students over 4 years. So I think we do need to reword that. You're right. It's.
Do we need to let them know that it's for 4 years, or can we just let them know it's $250 scholarship?
It's for 4 different kids over 4 years. I would take. I see what you're saying. He is sponsoring it for 4 years to the commission. So we probably want it to just say that it's $250.
Yeah. Because otherwise.
When this was being wordsmithed and it was being cut and paste from 3 different emails, and it was to make sure that we knew that it was the scholarships are sustainable for once.
But it's not a renewable scholarship.
Right, we don't want to renew it because we want to be able to, our traditional path is that we award new children, we award new students. So thank you for that, so that we're clarifying.
So I put worth or awarding $250. Yeah, and in terms of the 4 years, I think it's going to be confusing. I think Commissioner Moore brought up a great point. Someone may think it's a renewable scholarship.
It is, he's sustaining the scholarship for 4 years for the Education Commission to award it over 4 years, not to the same student.
Right.
Okay. Does that need to be included in the description?
No.
Okay.
It just means that we know that the funding stream for this is covered for 4 years.
Got it. Any modifications to the description before we confirm this?
Where did you want to use marginalized, Nicole?
It felt just like a little bit of faulty parallelism somehow in that sentence. So I was trying to figure out how to fix it. A social justice scholarship. I think even get rid of awarding and just say of $250.
Yeah, that's fine.
A social justice scholarship of $250 with an emphasis on LGBTQ issues, but also human or any other. I'm trying to figure out, because I feel like we have issues and then
or I see, or any other topics, any other stories, any other. I see what you're saying.
It feels like it should be like, it's like listing, but when you're listing, you have to list in a certain way to make it parallel, with an emphasis on LGBTQ issues, or, because we're okay with or, right?
Right.
Yeah.
With an emphasis on LGBTQ issues or
human rights. Yeah, get rid of also. Again, this started as a phone call and then it was typing and then it was trying to wordsmith it from that description, like do something like this and then make it into a prompt.
Yeah, I think that doesn't need the but also, because it seems
change it to or.
Yeah.
Or where is this again?
After the LGBTQ issues, you're pretty close to the prompt. So get rid of the but also, get rid of but also.
Okay.
All right, how about or other human relations, suffrage. Okay, but suffrage is positive. Okay, here we go.
How do you do unsuffrage? What's the opposite of suffrage?
Disenfranchisement, with an emphasis on LGBTQ issues or other human relations, disenfranchise, or other examples or other issues such as human relations, disenfranchisement, workplace rights.
And then under this umbrella can then use marginalized. You can use marginalized there rather than umbrella because we don't want to use an umbrella.
Right. Or any other marginalized. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or any other marginalized people.
Group.
Marginalized people.
People.
Margins.
IN.
Okay. Can we confirm this so I get Board Member Gomez?
Yes.
Okay. File, very good. All right.
The prompt though, the question is fantastic. We don't need more than one question. The question there is a great question.
Very broad.
Before you go back to the prompt, I kind of agree with Commissioner Gouveia. I think it might be a good idea to list that it's a sustainable scholarship for the 4 years.
It's not a sustainable to the student. It's sustainable within our commission. So it does not need to be told to the student that they're getting money because they're only going to get it once because that's how all of our scholarships are.
Yeah, and I'd actually prefer it not to be shared because I think it's going to confuse people.
Yeah, I'm not clear. So I thought I understood that was $250 for 4 years.
It's not. No.
Is that what I heard?
No. Joel awarded the commission $2,000 for 4 years for 2 scholarships. So each year we are going to be awarding one student $250 for this one and for the sustainability one. There'll be an Unheard Voices and a sustainability for the next 4 years that Joel Fajardo is sponsoring. It will be 4 different students because we don't allow repeat winners. So in my head, as I was saying, $250 for 4 years was to make sure that we told that I was sharing with the commission that it is sponsored for 4 years, because the concerns we had last year was that we had added several scholarships that had no money streams beyond the first year.
Okay.
So the idea
All right, I've got it now. I got it.
the next 4 years to have 8 winners, right?
Yes,
Yes.
that is the goal.
That's okay. Clear now.
It could outlast all of us.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome, guys. All right. So that's pretty much, I think, Cynthia, the end of my sharing capability. So if you want to take away those powers from me, I don't know what to do with them. They're scary.
So we'll need a motion to
Approve.
yes.
I move that we approve the scholarships as adjusted.
I will second.
Pick one.
All right, Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes,
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
she's muted.
Yes, sorry,
Thank
my mouse
you.
went-
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas,
Yes.
Vice Chair David Govea,
Yes.
Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes.
Thank you.
These will go live on December 1st, correct? Yay.
And there's 7 of them. I count 7. Is there 8? Are there 8?
Republic. We didn't cover Republic.
Oh, Republic. Okay, that's the 8th one.
For Republic scholarships, the changes that the Education Commission proposed at the last Education Commission meeting were approved, so they will be using the recommendations and changes.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Olivia, thank you for your work with that.
No problem. And Cynthia, we work together.
And both of you guys, thank you. Okay, and then we're going to jump back around on the agenda.
We need to
And-
motion for that again.
Do we need a motion for that again to move it back up?
No,
Okay,
No.
Cynthia, then we're going to believe Cynthia. All right, so presentation by Los Angeles Unified School District Board Member Kelly Gonez. Yay!
Hi. Good evening, everyone.
evening.
It's so great to be with you all this evening. I wanted to hop in and use my newspaper editor experience, but you all solved that really well. So kudos to you. Exciting news about the scholarship. So I'm Kelly Gonez, proud to serve you all as your LA School Board member representing the East San Fernando Valley and all of the schools in the city of San Fernando. First, of course, hope that you and your loved ones are all safe and healthy at this time. With Thanksgiving fast approaching, I'd also just like to express my gratitude to you all, and especially to any educators or parents who I know are serving on this board. We are so grateful for the hard work that has gone into this year amidst all of the challenges. Without that partnership, our students wouldn't be doing as well as they are despite all those challenges. So we're just incredibly grateful for that. I was able to visit with the San Fernando City Council in October and discuss some updates with them. There are just a few more updates I want to share with you all since I last visited in August. As your board member, I've been advocating for us to continue to strengthen the distance learning experience while also continue our planning for how we can bring students back to campus as safely as possible. You're all, I'm sure, aware that the state has currently barred schools in LA County from reopening while we are in the most restrictive tier. And as you are probably also aware, unfortunately, cases are rising dramatically, both nationally and locally. So we're really going in the wrong direction on those metrics. When it is safe to do so, we plan to begin with a hybrid model to limit the number of people on campus at any given time. And in the meantime, the district has really started to share important information with families about our eventual return to school and to make sure that everyone is as informed as possible and, of course, is as safe as possible. When our schools do reopen, families will be able to choose whether they would like to participate in hybrid learning or continue with 100% virtual learning. Students who do opt to join hybrid learning will do so in small, stable student cohorts that will remain together for the entirety of their day in school. On days when students are not in hybrid learning, they will continue their classes online and be provided childcare by the district. Students who participate in online-only learning will have a mix of live virtual instruction with their teacher and independent work time, similar to the structure right now. And meals will also be available both to hybrid and virtual students. Until the time when we're ready to switch to a hybrid model, we are providing online and in-person one-on-one and small group tutoring for students at many of our schools. We've also actively expanded in-person services, especially for our students with disabilities and students who are experiencing homelessness. You may also be familiar with the district's COVID-19 testing and contact tracing program that was launched recently for our school community. The program provides free periodic testing so we can maintain everyone's safety, and hopefully will also enable us to bring folks back to campus quickly and safely once we are able to do so. So far, the district has actually tested more than 150,000 people of all ages, including students, staff, and in some cases, families. And it's become the largest school-based testing effort in the country. Since early October, the school-based testing program has shown a rise in the level of COVID-19 in our communities, mirroring the same rise in cases in the county. In the vast majority of cases, those increases are not due to school-based transmission. That's just an indicator of the community spread. Recognizing that COVID has impacted more than just the health of our families, the district will also be providing 1.5 million meals tomorrow, the day before Thanksgiving, to ensure that every family can enjoy a meal with their loved ones. And then to support a college-going culture in the East San Fernando Valley, my office recently launched a college webinar series for supporting high school students and their families with the college admissions process. Our first webinar was geared at students, and it covered information about applications and financial aid. The recording is available on YouTube at Kelly Gonas, that's the channel, and so that's accessible to any of our students who are interested. We are having a second webinar on December 10th at 5 p.m. on Facebook Live. It will be entirely in Spanish, and it's aimed at supporting parents whose students will be the first in their families to attend college. We'll also have translations of all the resources and materials, as well as English subtitles for our non-Spanish speakers. And then finally, I'm happy to share that Measure RR, our local school bond, passed with over 70% of the vote, providing our district with critical funding to modernize and upgrade our school campuses. I am so grateful to our voters and to our community for really sharing that commitment to invest in our schools. While LA Unified has both built new schools and modernized others, more than 70% of our school buildings are more than 50 years old, and many are deteriorating and don't meet today's standards for learning and safety. Here in the city of San Fernando, past bond dollars have really benefited the schools in our community. Over $261 million in past bond funding has been spent to improve our campuses or build new ones, including the construction of the Cesar Chavez Learning Academies, recent upgrades of parent centers at San Fernando Middle School and Vista del Valle. So that is all fantastic. And then some of the anticipated improvements through Measure RR include an outdoor learning classroom at San Fernando Early Education Center, as well as earthquake safety upgrades at Morningside Elementary and at San Fernando Middle. And I, of course, will be sure to advocate to make sure that Board District 6 receives our fair share of funding to address all of our facilities needs. As always, if you want more information, you can sign up for our newsletter and find us on social media at Kelly for LA Schools. I know Charity will also post our contact information in the chat box. I know you know it probably already, but in case you need it, she's going to share that. And with that, just want to wish you all a happy and safe Thanksgiving and holiday season, and happy to stick around and answer a few questions if you have any.
Any questions? No, going once.
How's your child, Kelly?
That's so sweet. My youngest he's 6 months now, Ezra, and he's getting big. He's eating solids. Unfortunately, not sleeping very much just yet.
Oh.
He just popped his first tooth, and it looks like another one's coming. So it's going to be a rough week for sleep, but he's doing really well. And luckily, he's too young to realize all the craziness that's happening in the world. So we consider ourselves blessed in that way.
Any other questions?
No, thank you for coming, Kelly.
Thank you so much for coming. I know it's a busy week for just about everybody, so we very much appreciate you coming.
My pleasure. It's great to see you all again, and congratulations to Commissioner Govea on the birth of your second child as well.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Sedona.
All right. Well, take care, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We are now on to number 4, which is discussion of the principal's brunch event. And I wanted to thank Olivia, because we have a lot of new wording on it. Because when I originally did it, it was kind of a quick down and dirty for the new principals in the within the city, just to say this is what we have in the city. And now, Cynthia, can you share your screen, or do you want me to try to? Oh, I would love it if you would. So we started with some simple information. Olivia, did you want to just to explain the updates? The italics are what you added.
Sure. So I think we received a copy of this in, I don't know, September or one of our meetings. I have a copy. I don't know how we received it. But anyway, I just thought that maybe we should have a little introduction to the other piece. And so I started with these 2 paragraphs. So if you want to read them, or you want me to read them out loud, I don't care. Greetings on behalf of the City of San Fernando Commission of Education. As you near the end of the fall semester, we would like to thank you for your dedication and strength in responding to the new and challenging circumstances we find ourselves in. We realize that it has taken understanding, creativity, and resilience to lead a school site virtually or following many restrictions imposed on us by COVID. We salute your courageous effort in moving ahead to provide the best services possible to our students and community. In addition, we'd like to express a special welcome to our new principals and directors to the cluster of 22. I don't know if the 22 is correct, but you correct me, Cynthia, I'm not sure. City schools. You are a very special group, including public and private schools ranging from childcare centers to high schools. In lieu of the annual principals brunch, we are sending this communication to provide important information you may find useful. And then the piece goes on. So I just added a few words here and there, or changed a few words. Anything I changed, I put in italics. And I thought we should, where it said that our city, let's see, in the website, the council meetings could be, I added that they could be accessed through YouTube, but I didn't know the site, but I thought it could be filled in.
Yeah, I added it in I added it in the Google Doc, but it's not in here. That can definitely be added.
Okay. So more or less that was it. And so then we explained our programs and the principal's brunch, the scholarship program, student of the month, the teacher's spotlight. Oh, and then at the end, it says maybe we want to give our names and maybe our email addresses. Was that what it was, Angel? You wanted?
Yeah, I didn't know we wanted to say, like who each of us was in terms of like a very short bio, pretty much, or just our names and our contact information, so that if somebody has a question, they have an automatic person to reach out to on the commission if they had a question. I mean, I'm okay with supplying my email. I don't know if anybody else had any other opinions on that.
I think it's great if the chair maybe acts as the point person. If we want to include commissioner name, I think that. Yeah,
my thought was that we should probably not include all of us so that we don't accidentally all get copied onto the same.
Oh, yes, Brown Act. Beautiful. So okay.
One of us, or maybe include Julia or Cynthia instead, because they would always just send it to us.
So and that's fine. We would just have the names of the commissioners, and then when it comes to contact information, it would be Cynthia or Julia, or both.
Mm-hmm. You can do that. That makes sense.
We can always add the sfeducom@sfcity.org email.
Okay. I'm also going to suggest at this time, since the election hasn't been certified, that we don't necessarily rush this out, because it's going to be out of date as soon as we send it out.
I was gonna say that too, but I didn't want to seem negative.
but that's true, and it'll still work, because late December or whenever we have the results, it can still be sent out, and it's still the end of the semester because their semester ends in January.
Oh, see, This is why having the former principal looking for, because like I
Right.
keep thinking
the
this
semester doesn't start.
the semester technically ends in December, but they don't come back to school until January. So
Depends on the school. Some schools end it in December, some end it in January, but it doesn't really matter.
So
Yeah,
well, what matters is at the beginning it says nearing the end of the semester, so we'd have to change that. We'd say completed, completed as you complete the fall semester.
I like that.
So just take the end of out.
Or we could just take that out altogether. So if somebody new gets hired, we could just send it.
and we could do that pretty much anyway. I mean, I think that's
Started out, we would like to thank you, that sentence.
Well, but the thing is that that the fact that they've gone through the semester in LAUSD, it would be unlikely that anybody's going to be hired in the middle of the year. And so the big deal about thanking them is that they completed the semester, you know. So I think as you complete the fall semester, that's good.
Yeah, I still just keep it.
and then we just have to take out all
It sounds good to me. I agree with Olivia. I think this is a good way to say, okay, you're completing the fall semester, and at this point, we'd like to thank you for your dedication in this challenging circumstance. And that sounds good to me.
Yeah, we just needed to edit out the italics.
Yeah.
And then add the YouTube channel. I mean, I can do that afterwards and then resend it to, I can resend it, or Cynthia has access to it already. I can make the updates and then, and the city website info. I thought that was on there. Is that not in there? Maybe it's not because it was all contact information. Yes, the city's website is at sfcity.org. And City Hall is normally open. It used to be open. Yes, please.
Maybe we could use
Maybe you might want to
available instead of open. Like if we said our city staff is available Monday through Friday. Because they're available.
Yeah.
You just can't walk in.
Mm-hmm.
When you can walk in, they ask nice questions and they're so friendly. And thank you, friend. All right.
City staff is available Monday through Friday, but due to
with limited
COVID, public hours are limited.
Yeah,
I think we should spell out the word Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love it. This is such a committee/commission email letter. The way we're doing it right now.
This is what happens when you put this many educators in front of the Word document.
Well, it's also what happens when somebody like puts it together really quickly, because Andres asked me to do it. I was forwarding it to Eduardo and I did it. And it was, he said, be very informal. Just give us all the stuff that you guys have going on. And so it was literally one step above stream of consciousness. It was and it wasn't official, but we want to have an official thing. We're not going to have a brunch. So we want to make sure that we're giving everybody the information that we have.
So I'm sorry, but I'm not seeing it here, but when we talk about the commission, this or that, should commission be capitalized? Not here either. Okay, maybe it was there. Oh shoot.
Yeah, I just saw it. The commission honors.
I capitalized it, and so I was just asking. The other thing is we talk about the city doing this and that, the city, I capitalize city, even if it's right there, the city. So because you're talking about San Fernando City, it's not just any city, right?
that becomes the sort of the proper name. I know that there's official, and then there's like, okay, then in the student of the month, the teacher spotlight, at the next month at a city council meeting, that would be lowercase. When city is shortened.
I think it's lowercase unless we are City of Industry, which we're not. Like, I think City of Industry is their official name, but we're not San Fernando City, we're just San Fernando.
Well, in our welcome sign, it says City of San Fernando.
And I've known it to be City of San Fernando also. Other places just name their one city, like Pacoima or Silmar.
Yeah.
But
we have to differentiate between the valley, because you know how many times you tell somebody you live in San Fernando, they go, oh yeah, I'm from Encino. You're like, no.
Right. That's why it's become part of our name.
Yeah.
Yep.
I always refer to it as the City of San Fernando, and it's even in our YouTube channel that way.
Well, how has other correspondence dealt with this when you're describing the city doing something?
I've seen it both ways. I personally lowercase it unless I'm not spelling out the full word, if it's not a full title. But
I'm looking at the website capitalizes it. Like it says on the website, there's that little bit about like they've received calls from impersonating agencies such as the city, and it capitalizes it there. Because I was trying to look in the middle, and then it talks about fireworks are illegal in the city. So I guess we should stick with the website.
So we're gonna wait anyway to send this so we can fix it.
So we're waiting until election results are certified, right? Or are we just, okay.
Yes, and we have an ad hoc. So if we would like to approve it based on minor grammatical and factual changes, we could do that, and then it could go out essentially the same week as finals for the schools that are in finals, and before the Christmas break for the schools that are not.
Did you all want? Sorry, did you all want to get this approved for city letterhead at the January 4th meeting?
Oh, it's gonna have to go through the, all right, so it's not going out till January no matter what. So we have one more chance to edit it, Olivia, and we'll bring it back to the December meeting.
Yeah.
But then yes, it needs to be agendized for the January 4th meeting. Right. Yay.
So my other question is I'm sorry, where it says the city teacher form is here, it was blue. So is it when it goes in the, when it's sent as an email, will that be a live link? Is that why it's blue?
It can be. If it's sent as an email, it can be. If it's sent as an actual letter on a letter official, we were going to send it as an email, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
If we send it as an email, then all the links are live and they will be able to click through.
Okay.
And that actually does go to the spotlight form because I clicked on it. I mean, somebody else can click on it, double check it, but that's a screen share. But if Cynthia can click on it and check, we can check. But I'll check it on the actual form. So since that is going to, do we need to vote to have it agendized, or Cynthia, do you want us to vote?
You can do that in December.
Okay, we could. Okay.
Well, you're bringing it back. You're bringing it back to your December meeting, right?
Yeah, we're bringing it back to the December meeting, and it's very close. But since it's not going to be able to be agendized till the January meeting, then let's just go ahead. Does anybody have anything else with the principal's brunch?
Good work.
Okay. All right. I mean, I wish there's something we could send with it, but I think as an email to give them the information is good for that, and we'll go from there. So now we are on to number 5, which is discussion regarding the San Fernando Teacher Spotlight nomination. Who's gonna run that? David?
Or am I running it? Are we discussing any of the applications, or do we want to wait on this? I'm guessing we wait on this till December anyways, because we won't.
Okay, well, that's what I was going to do with the next one. So I'm totally okay with waiting for.
Motion that we table both of these until December.
Yeah,
we do definitely have more Teacher Spotlight. I do want to update a little bit on it, but so if we're going to move on to from 5 to 6, Teacher Spotlight is first. So for 5 for Teacher Spotlight, I got them backwards. So for Teacher Spotlight, I did go in and present Daniel Vasquez with his certificate. I thought that the right thing to do was to not interrupt class and make it, not, as unintrusive as possible. And Jeff Austin said, no, we're going to interrupt his advisory. We're going to interrupt his homeroom. So I put on a dress and I went over to Social Justice Humanitas and I got walked through the building, and it wasn't Publishers Clearinghouse because I didn't have a check and I didn't have balloons, but Mr. Austin unlocked the door and we barged in and we were all masked up and he looked terrified. But then we explained what we were there for, and at the end, Mr. Austin filmed the whole thing. We will have some pictures available for sending it out after we present on the 7th. But what was really exciting is at the end, Mr. Austin's like, unmute yourself. The kids started unmuting and started hooting and hollering, and they were really excited. So it was worth interrupting homeroom to do it. But he's one of the teachers that is on campus regularly, so that made it easy. We will have some difficulty with Teacher Spotlight if some of the teachers are teaching from home. I'm willing to go anywhere within reason. I would have driven to where he lives if they, oh no, he's here all the time. I'm like, perfect. So I was very happy to do it, and it was very rewarding, and I definitely am looking forward to December 7th. We're going to be super short because it's going to be a pretty big meeting. So short meeting, but a lot of stuff happening. But I will speak very briefly. The principal would like to speak very briefly, and then we will let Mr. Vasquez speak if he would like. But I'm very happy in this climate, in this current environment, to celebrate anybody whose kids are that excited about them. And we have we haven't even advertised it. I will suggest that we advertise Teacher Spotlight possibly next week or the week after, just on some of the social media. If there's a quieter day that messaging is not the priority for the messaging for the city, is obviously everything that has to do with COVID right now. But if there's a day that we can highlight this Teacher Spotlight along with, because we want the Teacher Spotlights to be more organic than Student of the Month is coming from the teachers or the administrators, but we would really like the Teacher Spotlights coming from the kids. So if there's a way that we can share that out on social media, that would be fantastic. If that's everything, then that's everything I have on Teacher Spotlight. And if we want to table Student of the Month, then we are now, is everybody okay with going to General Commissioner comments? Okay.
So you have a motion, excuse me, you have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Moore.
Oh, to table.
All right, let me amend my motion. I motion that we move Student of the Month because that was our Teacher of the Month Spotlight discussion. I motion that we move Student of the Month to next month.
It's a combined month anyways, sorry. Olivia seconds.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemes,
Yes.
Vice Chair David Govea,
Yes.
Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes. So now we are to General Commissioner comments. Do we have any? None?
Yes, I have a comment. I do.
Go ahead, Suzanne.
All right. Actually, I have a couple of comments. I was able to view our October meeting on YouTube, and I must share with you, that was an amazing experience because I was able to see how we function or how the commission functions. So I just like to congratulate the group on the way the commission is run. Thank you for that. And I also want to thank Commissioner Govea and you, Commissioner Rodriguez, as to the way you so graciously welcomed Michael Long from the Boys and Girls Club of San Fernando Valley. You were very, like I said, gracious and inviting, and I could see Michael was very comfortable sharing information with you. And also the other thing that really excited me, and I saw that in Commissioner Robledo's comments also, is the way that we were able to connect two agencies or two groups that had the same agendas for our youth. So that happened because, you know, we did it together. That was really awesome. I love the way that happened. And an update for you for the Mission College communication with the Boys and Girls Club.
Commissioner Llamas, I think your hand is over your microphone.
Yes. Okay, how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, it's far away. I'm sorry. Okay, yes. The other thing is I connected, or I'm connecting Juan Salas from our Teens for a Better Community. I'm connecting him with Michael Long because they both are working with our youth and they both have similar objectives. So I just wanted to let you know that. And that worked because once again, we have knowledge of our programs. And I remember how what we had said previously was, okay, we may not be a decision-making body. However, we do work with communicating with community and making things happen. So this is how I see works really, really well. So thank you for that. And on that note, for next meeting, if possible, I would like to invite Ileana Stefanian. She's our Los Angeles County Librarian here in San Fernando. Wonderful woman. And she made a connection through Councilwoman Mendoza. And she'd like to, in fact, I invited her to do a presentation on our new library card system. It's called Library Card Plus. And it's a fine-free library card. And also she would like to share all the services that they're providing to our kids who so direly need these services during the time while they're at home. So I would request that if we can put Ms. Stefanian on the agenda.
For December 29th?
For our next meeting. And also there was another connection, and there's a gentleman, his name is Matthew Aldretti. And he's a San Fernando resident, USC graduate, and he has his thoughts and ideas in regards to higher education in the city of San Fernando. So he wants to make a presentation, and it was thought that it would be great if he comes to the Education Commission to do the presentation as to what he sees and what can be done. So I would love for him also to come, and you can let us know, you know, when we'll be able to host them, whether it be December or our January meeting.
Suzanne, you cut out in the beginning. You cut out in the beginning,
okay,
so I don't know who you're speaking about.
Matthew Aldretti.
Okay.
He is a San Fernando resident, USC grad, working on higher education in the city of San Fernando.
Okay.
And you know, when I get close, look how big my face looks on the screen.
Suzanne,
I'm gonna have to work on that.
What is he working on?
He's working on the higher education aspect of our students in the city of San Fernando. So I would really love to invite him to the commission to see what he has to say, to see what he can offer, what we can, work together.
Like, what is his title, or what is his we know with the commission, we work with the commission. Some of you are teachers, some of you are retired school leaders. What is his title or his?
Right, he's a social worker student working with the community. So I am going to communicate with him, because I just got that message this morning. But the message was such a nice, strong message that I wanted to bring it to the commission so we could start working with it.
Unless it's a major project, I mean, he could always do public statements and just kind of introduce his project.
Perfect.
And and then from there, if there's anything that maybe
we want to agenda, otherwise that's fine.
So are you saying we're going to agendize Liana with the public library, but we can invite Matthew to do public comments?
Can you check with her on the date too?
Is that what you're saying?
Like a holiday week.
On December
Right.
29th? We typically still meet. If we don't want to meet,
No,
we
no, I
can-
know we're meeting. I just meant could Commissioner
yeah.
Yama check with her to ensure that December
Yeah.
29th in the evening is still a doable date for the librarian? Because I don't know about what the library's hours are that week.
Right.
Yes, I
we
did
have to be careful
share
too.
with her about that possibility.
We have to be careful too, because this is just comments and we're not supposed to be, I know we're not supposed to back and forth. So Cynthia, how do we, is it okay if we try to agendize that and see if that works for them?
Yeah, I can also send it out with the pre-agenda email, and then that is the time to add or remove items from the agenda.
Okay, perfect.
Commissioner Imes, you go straight to Cynthia.
All right, so I want to be clear on this. So I'm going to go straight to Cynthia to make sure that we confirm the presentation with the librarian, correct?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and then with a higher education presentation, that will be in the public comments, or is that also going to be agendized with confirmation?
We can work on that outside or offline.
Okay. Okay, that sounds great. Okay, thank you. Thank you, commissioners.
Any other commissioner comments? All right, I just want to say thank you. I am eternally grateful for the work that the commissioners do. I'm thankful for the city clerk and the deputy clerk. I think I got that right. I know the name, the titles don't always, I know who you guys are, the titles always, I mess up the titles. I am very grateful, I'm thankful, and the pandemic silver lining here is that, you know, no matter what happens, we keep figuring out ways to keep going. So I still hate Zoom and I still hate looking at myself on camera and want to be in person when that's safe, but I'm perfectly content to do this until we can be safe. So in the meantime, everybody have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next month.
With staff communications prior to that?
Yes. Yeah, no, I didn't mean we're done. I didn't say the magic
Oh,
words.
okay.
The magic words were not said yet, but now we know David's going to say them. So staff communication.
I don't have anything today.
Then that means that David gets to.
Am I saying it? Okay, great. I would like to put a motion forward to adjourn the meeting.
All right. We'll go slowly. Does anybody want to second that?
I'll second it.
Okay, Olivia seconds. Nobody jumped at that one.
I know.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas,
Yes.
Vice Chair David Govea,
Yes.
and Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Bye, everyone.
Thanksgiving.